Good evening, you're with us on To The Point. Let's take you now directly to the residence of the Home Minister Amit Shah. 12 farmer unions, including that of the Bharatiya Kisan Union, Rakesh Tikait, have reached the residence of the Home Minister. What we are getting to know, there are in fact 13 to 14 leaders who are inside right now. However, they are very clear that they will seek rollback of all new farm laws. There is no change in their demand. I want to cut across immediately to our National Affairs editor who's tracking the developments very closely. 12 to 13 farm unions leaders, Rahul, are at Amit Shah's residence, possibly trying to reach some kind of breakthrough with the talks tomorrow, because that seemingly is the finale. It's one way or the other tomorrow. But only 12 to 13 farm unions today meeting Amit Shah, Rahul Srivastava. Does it somewhere down the line give the message that there is an attempt to divide farmer unity?
Preeti, on the face of it, the BJP has raised the seniority level as far as the negotiations are concerned from the government side. But as you say, that by choosing lesser numbers, I think it fits into a strategy that the government has been driving. Let me explain. You see, over the last few days, all the talks which happened, the government had its back to the wall, primarily because the 60 unions remained united, and there was no shadow of politicians as far as the agitation was concerned. But the moment political parties across the spectrum, the opposition parties, joined in the Bandh call and said that they are backing the Bandh, the government, if you notice, in the last 48 hours, took the gloves off, and it made politics behind farm stir as a central plank. That's where the BJP made the first clear noises, indicating that the farm stir was more political in character. After that, what the BJP did, it ensured that in BJP-ruled states, in NDA states, the Bandh was not a success. Also because of inherent contradictions and political compulsion. Say, for example, Mamata Banerjee did not enforce a Bandh despite being an opponent of the BJP, primarily because the left had a strong presence as far as this agitation is concerned. In Maharashtra, the Bandh was welcomed by Shiv Sena-led government, but the trains ran, the buses ran, the taxis were running, the restaurants were open. So it was not as vigorous a push for the Bandh. Now the government has a consensus, a sense that this Bandh failed because there is no acute resonance across the country as far as the farm stir is concerned. That has changed a bit the ground rules as far as the negotiations are concerned. And then comes the point you have raised. Initially, the government was negotiating with 40-odd unions as far as the last 3 rounds of talks are concerned. Today, it is 13. Now, what is the government doing is that initially it seemed that the number of people who are ready for amendments and then ending the stir was lesser in that lot of 40. But this time around, those who are the middle path are almost as equal in numbers to those who are the strident protagonists as far as the demand for repealing the bills is concerned. So the government has created a ground in which it has an edge. It is saying that you don't have pan-Indian support. And second, it is negotiating equally with those who want amendments and are ready to end the stir and those who want the bills to be repealed.
Well, it's interesting. We'll only know what the fallout of the meeting is in just a short while from now. Hopefully, sometimes these meetings, especially when the farmers were talking to the government, went on for over 8 hours. Rahul, do stay with us. We're going to continue to come back to you through the course of To The Point this evening.